Hello friends, today we will discuss about TCP/IP and OSI models. So these are the models which are very necessary to understand if you want to have a better understanding of how communication take place or how this networking works. So we will start with these models, and please watch this video, and if you have any doubt you can ask on comments. So we will start it. So what is OSI models and what is TCP/IP model? TCP/IP model was originally designed in 1970 by the American defense organizations. So their defense department wants a secure medium by which they can connect all their defense networks. So earlier, before internet, there was no internet earlier, so this was the foundation for this internet. So they have designed, earlier they had designed for their defense organization. They are using, just like LAN, they are using ARPANET, and they have implemented this TCP/IP model on that ARPANET, and when it was successful, then they have connected all the universities also for this model. And when they found it very useful and they can use it, this internet comes into picture, and with the use of this internet we have used this model in all over the world. Right now also we are using TCP/IP model. Whenever you are assigning an IP address, you are clicking on TCP/IP version 4 or version IPv4 or IPv6. So this is a practical model which we are using. Now we will talk about OSI model. OSI reference model was developed by ISO, that is International Standard Organization, in around 1983. So they have developed this as a reference to have to understand, so that each one can understand how each layers works, what is the functionality of each layer. Earlier what happens, different vendors have their different specifications. So it is not sure that if you are using a Cisco router, it will communicate with Juniper router. Earlier it was not possible, because different vendors use different protocols or different specifications. So to standardize those protocols or specifications, they have developed this OSI reference model, so that each vendor can take a reference from this model and they make their devices according to this standard, so that we can have a smooth communication between different vendor devices. So this is the 7 layers of OSI layer: application layer, presentation layer, session layer, transport layer, network layer, data link layer, and physical layer. It was a OSI layer model. So it was a reference model, and this is the TCP/IP model, which is having these layers: application layer, transport layer, internet layer, and network access layer. What happens in OSI layers, if you combine these 3 layers, upper layers, into one layer, it is called application layer in TCP/IP model, whereas transport layer stands the same, and network layer is called internet layer, data link layer, which was further divided in MAC and LLC layer in OSI layer. It is combined with physical layer and it is called network access layer in TCP/IP model. So what we need to understand, or what we need to learn with these models, first thing, to understand deeply each layer functional, you must understand this OSI layer model. To understand the practical scenario, how this works, you can see this TCP/IP model. You must know each layer functionality. You must know what are the devices which are used in each layer. You must know what are the protocols used in these layers. You must know how this communication take place when you are sending a data from one PC to another PC. So we will start with an example. If a PC, a person is sitting on this PC, suppose A wants to send something to B. Suppose he wants to send an email, where he wants to send a Word file plus one MP3 file. Also he wants to send a Facebook request to this person. So what he will do, we will understand with this OSI layer. Functionality is same. If you combine these functionality into this, it is called TCP/IP layer. So we will understand with this layer, because it is very easy to understand with OSI layer. You can combine the functionality or protocol used or the devices used in these layers. If you combine the functionality of these 3 layers inside the application layer, the functionality will be same. Okay, so we will see these things from the OSI layer. So in application layer, what happens, if you want to email or something, you need an application. To have an application, what you need? If you want to send an email, what application you need? You need a browser where you can open Gmail, or you are using Microsoft Outlook, you used some other application, some application is needed. Or if you want to send a Facebook request, you need to log in with this app, Facebook app, or you need access to a web browser where you can open that Facebook site and you can send that request. So the application layer works, it acts a interface between user and the machine. So this is the work of application layer, as the name is clear. It is used to have a communication between user and your computer, so that they can this is the layer which you will face in, this is the front end. You will see this things only, you will see that application only, you will not see these all layers. Okay, so application layer is I have told you about application layer. What is presentation layer? Presentation layer present the required information to application layer in a standard format, so that application layer can understand it. Means if you are sending a MP3 file, when it will be received in this PC, then what will happen? When that application he wants to open that Word file, then it need to be sent to the MS Word, or it needs the format should be such that it can open on MS Word. Or if you are sending a video audio file, it must support that application, must support that format. So if it is a MP3 file, you can open it in a media player, or same way it will present the information in the required format to the specific application which it can understand the things. Here we also use encryption and decryption. If you are using some encryption, then it will presentation layer will do that application, and at the receiving end it will decrypt that thing. So in sessions layer, what happens in session layer? What is the, now I will come to functionality of sessions layer. So presentation layer, it is clear that it will present the data to the application layer in the required format, so that that application can understand it. It also do the encryption or decryption process. Session layer, session means it will make a communication between this local device to different applications. Means you are sending a email, you are sending you are opening a Facebook page, so different sessions are created from this PC to this PC, so this local machine to this whatever application it is using. So it manages different sessions. It from starting to end time, it will make the that sessions. Okay, so apart from this, it also with this session layer also decide which way you want to make a communication. Either it is a full duplex or half duplex. Same thing is decided by the sessions layer. So session layer make a connection between local computer to the remote application. What the transport layer do? Transport layer do many things. One thing is related to connection establishment. So here normally we use two protocols, that is TCP/IP and UDP protocols. So what's happened, TCP protocol is used for reliable delivery of data, and UDP is used for if you do not want a reliable delivery. Means if you are sending a mail, then you get a message that mail is sent, or the it is failed. So it is you got a notification because it is using a TCP/IP TCP protocol, where in UDP protocol you do not get a the receiving end will not send you any notification regarding whether the data is received or not. Why you use TCP or why you use UDP? TCP is used for reliable delivery, where you need a reliable delivery, then you use it, and UDP where you there is no need of resending that data, or you do not need that notification. You have sent the data, whether it is received or not, it is you do not required. In such scenario like live streaming, if you are seeing a match, a football match if you are seeing, and some frames have missed, then there is no need to send that frame again. There in live streaming we can use that UDP protocol. Moreover, we use UDP protocol where we need less traffic less load on the network, because TCP header is of more size and UDP header is of small size. So apart from this, TCP is used for flow control, error recovery, error detection will be done at data link layer, but error recovery will be done at transport layer. And segmentation, it also segments the whatever data it is receiving from upper end. In each layer, the data is divided into different PDU. PDU means protocol datagram unit. So the PDU, which is we call the application layer data simple data, it is normal data. When we add this TCP header in transport layer, what happens, this data, whatever data you are sending, it will be added to the transport layer will add a header before this data, and now this data is called segment. The PDU called at transport layer is segment. So what it adds in TCP header, it will add information regarding TCP, means what ports it is using. You are seeing different types of ports, like port number 21, okay, is used for FTP. Port number some other port 80. So different ports, TCP ports are there. Whatever ports you are using, that is inside that TCP header. Many more things are inside that TCP header, but it is related to the transport layer only. So when we combined with the upper layer data with the TCP header, we called it as segment. Same way in network layer, when we compiled this TCP header data with this IP header, then it is called a packet. And if we combine the upper layer data, that is IP, TCP and data, with this label header and this layer trailer also, it is called a frame. In this in network access layer, what happens, there two things are added. Upper layer only the header is added. In network access layer, two things are added, one is header and one is trailer. So header is used to have information about this network access layer. If you are using this data link layer, then it will have MAC addresses inside it, and this trailer will have a to check whether this data is received, complete data is received or not. We use a frame check sequence. It is for detecting that all the data is we have received all the data which is sent. So this way error detection will be done at this network access layer or data link layer, and recovery will be done at transport layer. So what happens when we are having a three-way handshake before transmitting the data, we do a three-way handshake, that is a reliable delivery of data. So TCP do a three-way handshake before making. With this network layer, what he will do, he will add this IP header. IP header, it will include the source IP of this IP, this computer. If it is a 10.1.1.1, it will add this IP. If it is a 10.1.1.2, then it will add in destination network, it will add this IP. So what will happen in data link layer, it will add the information about the MAC addresses. If it is having a MAC address of AAAAA, then it will add the source IP MAC address as AAA, and if it is having a BBB MAC address, then it will add BBB MAC address at the destination field. And lastly, the physical layer, what it will do, it will convert these frames into bits, and bit is transmitted with this copper wire, or if you are using optical, if we are using copper wire, then it will be transmitted by in copper wire. How it will be transmitted? It will be transmitted with the levels of voltage levels. High level can be recognized as a 0 bit, and low level can be recognized as a 0 bit, and high level voltage can be defined as a 1 bit. So if we are using optical cable, then it will there are different frequencies, so that we can have a communication between we can transmit these bit values to the network. Similarly, in what will happen in physical layer, now these will be transmitted with this copper wire or any optical wire, then it will be received at this physical layer. What he will do, he will again convert that signals into bits 10 10 10. Then what will happen in network layer, he will open this network layer header. Firstly, it will check the trailer whether it is complete or not. If it is not complete, it will send the data again. It will send that it will send to this PC that we have not received the complete data, because frame check sequence is not matching. So this way it will do error detection. In this header, what will happen, in this header it will having a MAC address of this data link layer. So what will happen, it will check for MAC address. We will see this header also. So in this header there will be a source MAC and destination MAC. Source MAC will be AAA and destination MAC will be BBB. If it is having a different MAC address than BBB, then it will drop this packet, it will not proceed further. If it is having a BBB, then it will decapsulate these two header and tailors, and it will send this to this network layer. It will send this packet to this network layer. Here the IP comes into picture. In network layer he will see the source IP and destination IP. Source IP will be 1.1.1.1 and destination IP should be 10.1.1.2. If it is having 10.10.2 in the destination MAC only, MAC address it will having 10.2.2.2, then only it will proceed this, then it will be proceeded to this transport layer. If it is having some difference this destination MAC address, destination IP address, then it will drop the packet. In transport layer it will see what are the port number, what is inside the port number, and then according to the port number it will send this data to its application layer. In application layer, same way, the session, it will create the sessions, it will do the presentation layer will present the whatever data is data is received to the application layer in the required format. So this way he will get this email and he will open in a particular Word file or in a video this player or audio player, or it will see that Facebook request on Facebook pages. So this way this communication take place. So what we need to focus is what are the protocol used in different layers. So it is used, it uses DNS, Telnet, SMTP, POP3, IMAP, DSCP, HTTP, FTP and SNMP. And datagram which is used, that is PDU. What we use here is it's called data. Simply data is the name of the PDU which is used in this application layer. Now come to this transport layer. We normally use TCP or UDP protocol here. The PDU name is segment. We call this, when we add this TCP here, we called it segment. Internet layer, we used IP, ARP, ICMP. The PDU protocol datagram unit name is packet. Devices used here is L3 switch or router. In network access layer, we called this is called a frame, and in network layer it is called a frame, and in this physical layer we call it as a bits. Physical layer, it will convert these frame into bits. Devices used, L2 devices are used in this data link layer, like layer 2 switch. NIC card or hub or cables are used in this physical layer. So this is all the things which you want to know about this OSI layer and TCP IP layer. What we have learned what is different between OSI layer and TCP IP layer, what is the functionality of different layers, what are the protocols used in different layer, what are the devices used in different layers, what we call different types of PDU used in different layer, what we name them. This is the whole concept of TCP IP and OSI layers. I think it is useful for you. If you have still any doubt, you can send me your doubts on comments, and please be in touch. We will have more videos soon for this networking basic concepts.